We're going to be looking at Bidmas, or sometimes people know it as Bodmas. It all means the same thing in the end. This is called the order of operations, and it's very important that you carry out sums in the order described in Bidmas. Every country does this order. They'll call it completely different things because of different languages, but they all agree to follow the same order. So we start with any brackets that need to be calculated, anything inside a bracket. You never add a bracket. Then we have indices or powers of. So that would be things like something squared or something cubed or anything to the power of another number. D stands for divide and M stands for multiply, A for add and S for subtract. Now you probably know all this already, but there are a couple of very important things that people tend to forget. The first is that division and multiplication just act from left to right. So you don't always divide before you multiply, you read from left to right. So you might have something that looks like 4 times 3 divided by 2. You wouldn't do the 3 divided by 2 first, you would do 4 times 3 is 12, and then divide that by 2 to give you 6. This also works with add and subtract. Again, it's not the order that they're in, it's just the word wouldn't make sense if they had it the other way around. So, for example, if you had 10 take away 6 plus 4, it would be the 10 take away 6 that you would do first, and then you would add on the 4 to give you 8. So let's have a look at how we lay these out. You start off by thinking about your Bidmas, and I would always recommend writing it on the paper that you're working on and checking them off. So for the first question here, do we have any brackets? No, so we can move on. Are there any powers? No, so we can look at the next. Is there a divide or a multiply? There is, so we're going to underline that part of the sum, 3 times 2, and write the answer underneath, 6. And I'm then going to copy down all the other information onto the row below. I now have a sum with just one operation, 4 plus 6, and that would give me 10. For the second example, do we have brackets? Yes, we do. So let's do those first. 6 plus 4 is 10, and then I can copy down the rest of the sum. Now I look at division and multiplication. Do I have any of those? I've got both multiplication and division. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work from left to right, and I'm going to start with the multiplication. That would give me 70, and I'm going to divide that by 5. There's a lot of dots on screen now, and that will give me 14. For this last question, 9 minus 3 times 6 plus 4, there are no brackets, there's no powers, there is no division, but there is a multiplication, so we're going to do that first. 9 minus 3 times 6 is 18, plus 4. And now I've got addition and subtraction, so I'm just going to go left to right. 9 minus 18 gives me minus 9, plus 4 gives me minus 5, or negative 5. Let's try some yourselves then. Pause the video, have a go at these questions in your book, and then press play to see how you got on. Looking at answers then, we have 7 times 6 needs to be done first, that's 42. 3 plus 42 is 45, minus 5 gives us 40. For number 2, we do 7 times 3 first, which is 21. 14 minus 21 is negative 7, plus 12 is 5, positive 5. For number 3, 6 times 3 is 18, 4 times 2 is 8. This one tends to catch people out because they would do the 6 times 3 and then add the 4 without thinking about having to use Bidmas twice. But the answer you should have got was 26. And the last question, There's a lot of steps. We have 4 minus 2 is 2, and we have to keep the indices there, so that was our brackets. Then we have 8 times 2 squared, which is 4, minus 2. 8 times 4 is 32 minus 2, and my answer is 30. How did you get on? Let me know, and make up some questions of your own to try.